Rolling white clouds atop a forest of green, a sea of flowers dancing in the breeze. Such a wondrous sight, all the creatures in flight, soaring high above the trees. Spring is the season when the earth starts to thrive. It's the reason for feeling so loved and alive. Out on the lake, just a-drifting and dreaming as the moon hangs low in the sky. The rustling of reeds and the breach of a fish, there's a loon singing songs in the night. These are the memories of summer I share. Let's ride on the moonbeams and dance in the air. The sky is so blue and the clouds are so gray. A cold north wind's blowing in. A slow burning fire that fuels my desire to share this life with you. Fall is the reason nature's beauty abounds. It's the season when colors fall gently to the ground. There's snow in the sky, diamonds festoon the trees by the moon's magnificent light. A snowy white owl cries out in the dark, pining for his mate. Winter has moments of blistering cold nights and days filled with sunshine that graces our sight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that introduction music that you just heard was from our guest. It's upcoming, Scott Charles, a brother-in-law from America, of course. This is Geechee Line, Geechee Line's journey. Tonight is a presentation of Geechee Line music, and we're presenting starting a series of musician spotlights. So as I'm able to have musicians on for a vlog, for interview, or for a discussion, I'm glad to do that. Tonight, we're honored to have Scott Charles, who I featured last week. I shared one of his recent live performances that he had shared on Facebook, and got his permission to actually share with my audience here on YouTube. And hopefully we will be hearing more from him on YouTube. He's actually more just as much of an active musician as I am as far as actually playing music. Of course, I'm doing my thing with the recording and releasing music and stuff like that. But as far as playing music and being a musician, he's much more so than I am. Um, he had to leave us for a while. We were on the test call together, so I know he was able to connect, but he had to, I guess, to go take care of something. But hopefully he will be back on with us soon.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
understand what to the camera.
yeah, because I mean, you had it set. You didn't have to do
Yeah.
anything. It was perfect. Because usually what'll happen is if you go into another app and it uses your phone, uses your webcam, it'll like shut the webcam off. Yeah, but that's why to try to have it on, we did the test run. So then you didn't have to do nothing. You didn't have to touch it. We already had it set up. But program note just released, I believe I just released it, a musician spotlight, if you will, on there you are, Scott, on one of my favorite groups. Chicago was one of my favorite groups growing up. I just released a music perspective on Chicago, the group, and some of their history and my relationship with them. Be sure you music lovers out there that's probably going to be up in my age bracket is going to be more appreciative of what I have to say about Chicago. That video has been uploaded, so when you get through watching this, feel free. It's early morning there. Go watch that video I did about Chicago. And right now, as soon as you join us, if you join us live, go ahead and hit the like button and share. Like and share. And if you will subscribe, then as always, if you see the crawling banner on the bottom, this channel is monetized, but I don't really count on making a whole lot of money just by YouTube. I'm an active musician. I have music that I release. I sell music. I also have my own streaming service, Geechee Line Music Radio. So if you see on the scroll down on the bottom, you use that promo code Xmas50, and you can actually subscribe for half off. I believe half off is like $6.99 a month, which is a steal. Uh, it does feature my original music and selected music of other associated musicians. I don't have any music from Scott Charles on there yet. I don't know if he wants to have some on the streaming service. I can add them. But anyway, he's back and he's sitting there comfortably with his drink, so he's ready to get into the discussion. So why don't you
Hi.
go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi. My name is Scott Charles Rohde. Musically, I go by Scott Charles. I've been playing since I was 13 years old. Got a guitar from my uncle. Hey, my dog Bailey just showed up.
Oh, hello,
Say,
Bailey.
say hi, Bailey.
You want to speak? Yeah.
Anyways, so I learned guitar from Danny Rosted, and I got to turn this. I learned guitar from Danny Rosted. He's on Facebook. Uh,
just recently I reached out to him to see what he was doing, and he's definitely not doing what he used to do. He used to make signs, and then I would clean his trailer from all the dust in lieu of guitar lessons.
Right.
Um, so that was always fun to do. It lasted for a couple of months, and then he had to go and do other things. But I've been playing since, and have written several songs of my own, just like Anwar here. Um, and he's decided to bring me on his show and ask a few questions.
All right. Yeah. Hello, Diamond. Thanks for joining us. Diamond Dre, he's one of my
Diamond?
Diamond from Chicago. So again, looking forward to seeing you in the Philippines. If you are coming, maybe we need to get together. Maybe you can, if you're gonna be in Davao City, you can bring me something. But anyway, I decided again that I was inspired to. I'm gonna tell you that was a great show set that you did, Scott,
Thank you.
on Facebook. Yeah, I was very much impressed with it. I actually literally ate my dinner while I was listening to that. I watched it in its entirety.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, so I said, hey, this is some other people would appreciate hearing this type of music. I even said, I mean, it is dinner ready.
Dinner ready.
Yeah, it
That's
was. Yeah, I
lobster
mean,
dinner ready. Steak
yeah,
and
but
lobster.
I
Or
literally
crawdads.
uh, listened to that. So as I, if you plan on making a regular habit of that, as
I
far
think
as
so.
coming,
I probably should. It's always fun to do that. Maybe one time I'll do a full hour of just cover songs, and other times I'll do a mix. That one was all my music, though.
okay, yeah, because it was billed as covers and original,
Right,
but you said it ended up being all original.
right, right. Yeah, I was getting a little tired towards the end of the hour, so I decided to take a rest.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, to me, um, an hour, I consider that to be about the max. I know when I was doing cover songs, which basically just involved singing because I was doing karaoke,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
I rarely went over an hour. I think an hour is a good benchmark as far as time because you get a chance to, you can probably get in about 10 to 15 songs
Yeah.
and then do a little commentary in between that, you know, and a little promotion if you have any uh, product that you're selling, you can always, highlight that.
Yeah,
Um,
like I talked a little bit about my upcoming album, Humanity's Journey. You can see it on my YouTube channel, the cover of, or at my Facebook page, Scott Charles Acoustic Music. I have their album cover there.
okay, so Scott Charles, I'm gonna put that on the chat. Scott Charles acoustic
Music,
music.
Facebook.
Okay, and that's a Facebook. All right, and we'll put that on here for the chat. Yeah, Facebook page. There you go, Scott Charles acoustic music. There we go, right there. So
Nice.
you are Facebook fans, people that's on Facebook. Uh, there you go. I'm still on Facebook just barely because, as you may know, I had two official Facebook pages for my musicianship, but I basically lost control of them.
Really?
I ain't gonna, yeah, yeah. I don't know if I told you that, but I stupidly got tricked into, and I was tired of whatever it was, and I stupidly shared my password with somebody who turned out to be not who they purported to be. They
Mm.
hacked one. They hacked one of my Facebook friends. Matter of fact, it was my music engineer. They hacked him and then used his identity to contact me. And something should have clicked on me is why would he
Yeah.
be asking me for my password? But it didn't click in time. By the time
Yeah.
I
That's
realized
unfortunate.
what was happening. I had lost control of my channel. So I had a Facebook profile, Imperial Brown, which is, which I was sharing all my music related stuff because that was one of my musician names. But I don't do too much Facebook now. I have a few friends that I still have, 60, 70 friends. I share stuff, basically health and exercise and
Yeah.
wellness, and talk about food poisoning and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to be, I'm in the process of activating my Facebook, not Facebook, but fan based social media accounts. I have two pages. I have Geechee Line Music and I have Geechee Line Journey on Facebook. So, not Facebook, but on fan base. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to bringing people over there. So, um, what are you doing these days? I mean, a day to day basis to keep you busy.
Oh, I play my music at least an hour or 2 hours a day just to
Oh,
get really familiar with it so I can remember the lyrics. If I go to an open mic, I go to
yeah.
open mics around the area, some in Champlin, some in um, down south in what place is that? Down south on 169.
Hmm.
If you go past 494 or 169, there's a little bar down there called Badger Hill that
Hmm.
they have open mics there. But I go to open mics or I just practice my music while the wife is at work and I take care of my puppies, Bailey and Maverick. Still trying to write a few songs for the album coming up, so I got to get inspiration for that.
Hmm.
And because it's humanity's journey, songs are going to be um, under that umbrella.
Right.
So,
That subject. Yeah.
yep, yep. So, like, we are the key, or that's a song I wrote for that
I
album.
remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
We are key. Yeah.
yeah, and so stuff like that that deals with humanity and the terrible toil that we're going through, or good things that we're going through. All depends on what I come up with for subject matter.
Yeah. I got my most recent studio recording was along in that vein. It's called World Powers.
Ah,
Stop World Powers in parentheses. Stop the killing.
yep.
So I completed that. That was a couple of days before I left America
Oh,
that I
okay.
recorded that. So that was last September. That was like a couple of days, literally 2 days before I came back to the Philippines. But that's
Okay.
called World Power Stop the Killing. So, like I was saying earlier, I say you're actually an active musician as far as playing an instrument. I'm not hardly I'm not touching on music at all. I'm not even doing a whole lot of singing. I'm doing a very little karaoke. I want to start that up again, but and you're retired,
Yep.
like I am, so we have the time to pursue any music, even if on a recreational basis, and
Yeah.
As for me, you know, if I can make a few dollars out of it, a few pennies out of it, I wouldn't mind. But
Yeah, that's
nice
for
to
sure.
hear. Yeah, but I'm glad to hear that you're actually formally working on an album right now. So, how many songs do you think is going to be on this album?
Oh, I figure 7 or 8,
Okay,
maybe more if
that's a
I
good
get.
amount.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good amount. 7 or 8 is about the max number of songs that I want on an album. Um, my ministry album, I think, has 7 songs.
Okay.
Memphis Prince had 6. Hung Up on My Baby had 6. Imperial Soul had 5. Alone Together had 5, I think. 5. And then Wedding Day had 4.
Hmm.
And
That's a
then
short one.
my first album, yeah, but see, Charlie Brown was like an 11-minute instrumental. So,
Oh, okay.
and then my first album, Alone at Last, was six songs on that album.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm looking forward to this year, especially when I go back to America. God willing, this summer, I'm looking to do. It's ambitious. 3 albums at minimum.
Okay.
3 albums minimum. I have a reggae album that I want to do with my engineer producer Red Locks. I want to do a reggae album with him. I want to do a blues album under Imperial Brown, and possibly another R&B soul type album
Okay.
under Chi Line Soul or either Geechee Line. So I'm looking to do 3 albums.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to be working on.
That's a big project. Now, back in the day, Sean Phillips did a trilogy and approached the record company as a trilogy, but they wouldn't have it. So he had to split it up into 3 albums.
Yeah, to split it up. Yeah. Yeah, because really there's more money in splitting it up because if you
Probably.
try to
Yeah.
do if you try to do a double album, you can't really charge double the price or triple the price of a single album.
Right.
So, you know, the average, you know, is not going to work out. Say if you're spending just like in the old days when you had vinyl, you could get an album for under, I'll say $7.99 back in them days, something like that. And if you had a double album, maybe you couldn't sell it for 16. You probably could do 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And speaking of which, you don't find many albums that are triple. I can think of Santana Lotus. I don't know if you remember that. That was a live album, 3 album set by Santana.
Oh, okay.
I think Wings Over America, Paul McCartney and Wings. I believe that was 3 albums.
Okay.
Um, I can't think of any more. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. I know it was at least two discs. It might have been 3, but you've seen a lot of double albums. It's like Chicago, they had like 5 double albums, but triple albums that
Yeah.
you don't see that very
Yeah.
often. And
Yeah.
again, probably for the reason that I stated. Especially back in those days. Now, one thing, and why don't you can give your perspective on this. the different approach. Now, really, not some well the approach, but also just the state of the industry. I mean, when we were coming up, as children, all you had was vinyl LPs, and
Well, you
again,
had
most of
vinyl, you had vinyl, you had cassette tape, you had CDs, you had uh 8-track,
Mhm.
you know. We used to have an 8-track. You had to bang on them to make them work.
I never cared for 8 track. I never got no. But what I was saying is, if you're a little bit older than I, but the '60s, especially the early '60s, they really didn't even have cassettes then. All
No,
they
it
had
was all albums.
was albums only.
Yep.
And then a little later on came cassettes, and then later on, 8 tracks was interspersed in there a little while, but they never really caught fire, if you will. And
Yeah.
then, of course, CDs came in maybe in the '80s and
Yeah.
'90s, and then now everything is digitized. You don't even. It's
Yep.
basically now everything is downloads, which is the reason why most of my music now it's all available on digital download. Even though I did release one vinyl album.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was my first album, Alone at Last. I released in 1985. And then in 1986, I produced a cassette, which I didn't formally release, but I did a cassette 1986. It was an EP. And then in the later years, once I revived my music career, if you will,
Yeah.
I've released 4 CDs.
Okay.
I re released Alone at Last on CD. I released Wedding Day by T Lion Soul. I released Hung Up on My Baby by Imperial Brown and a Million Seller. And then the last one I released, um, there's one more that I did to see a CD. I think it was Alone to get one of them. But now I'm pretty much not gonna plan on doing any more physical product now. Everything is going to be
Yeah. Everything is digital. I
everything
mean,
is going to be
stores are coming back with vinyl. You
hmm
can buy vinyl albums now in stores. It
yeah.
is coming back, but it's more of
Oh
a
yeah.
nostalgic thing than anything.
But it's really kind of a collector's thing. People that maybe your high end people that have the real expensive equipment and they
Mhm.
appreciate the sound quality and the tactile sensation of being able
Yeah.
to touch the album cover and hold it in your hand and hold the vinyl in your hand. There was some tactile stimulation with that. Of course, that's all we had we were children. When I was a child, I do have probably 2,000 albums
Oh, geez.
vinyl. Yeah, yeah, because I mean I started buying albums. I believe my first album was a double album I ordered called The Good Times in Country Music. And I had to be about 10 years old then. So that's like 1969.
Okay.
I bought Get Ready, the album, first album by Rare Earth. I bought There's a Rag Going On by Sly and the Family Stone. And 1970, 71, I bought Carole King's Tapestry,
Oh, yeah.
which is one of the most influential albums in my early songwriting career. I played that album very extensively. I would sit in front of the turntable and I would watch the label spin around.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Mesmerizing.
know. I don't know if you know anything about that, but I actually sat and watched the album spin around the turntable as I listened to those great songs that influenced me so greatly. Um, I feel the earth move so far away.
Yeah.
Smackwater Jack, you made me feel like a natural woman. Um, it's too late, of course. Where you lead, Tapestry, Beautiful, Way Over Yonder. I'm sitting up here basically naming all the songs on that. You Got a Friend, which was
Yeah.
covered by James Taylor. All of those great songs were on that Tapestry album, and that's why it was one of the greatest, the most highest selling single albums of all times. I think the record did not get broken until Saturday Night Fever with the Bee Gees. I
Oh,
think I
okay.
think broke the record. And of course, we don't have to talk about Michael Jackson. So you know, but
He broke every record.
yeah, but I was good not happy to hear about how that turned out with him. But you know, oh, thank you, Diamond. You like my World Power, the World Power. He says the absolute jam. Yeah, that was one I pulled out of the archives. I actually wrote that song, those lyrics in the mid '80s, and I got some time last year. I said, let me pull this lyric out and the music, of course, and I went down in my basement, which is my official world headquarters of Geechee Line Music, which is my basement at home in Chicago on Chicago South Side, near to where you are, Diamond. Because I live Calumet Heights, right around 87th and Stony. But I went down there and I got my MacBook, which is right here, by the way. Here's my MacBook. And I actually have, I sat at the MacBook and I worked out all the rhythm. I did the recording of the keyboard. And then just before I left America, I went in the studio, laid down the vocal mix, and that's what you got, World Power. So I probably would be playing that as the end, the end of this broadcast.
There you
I'll
go.
play World Power. But I've been thinking about very much coming on and using this channel to talk about my history as a musician, songwriter, producer, recording artist, and as
All
a
the above.
connoisseur of music. I started listening to music about 60 years ago. I grew up with Motown
Yep.
and of course and Stax, the Philadelphia sound, and all those artists, great art, the rock and roll. Of course, Elvis Presley actually was one of the first albums I bought. It might have been the first one. Elvis Golden Records. I bought that album with my own money, and I wore that out.
Yeah.
That had Hound Dog, Don't Be Cruel, and
Yeah.
Jailhouse Rockin' on there. But I actually grew up with that, and I bought that album and played it very much. So I had all those influences as a child: the rock and roll, country, as well as soul, rhythm and blues, jazz. I was exposed to all of it. My father was a DJ. William, you met him, of course, because
Yep.
we came up there with him. My father was a DJ while he was in the military. You know,
Oh, okay.
he was in the Air Force. I think he was in the Air Force almost 4 years. That was at the time I was, and that's how he got up to Minnesota. He was stationed up in Minnesota, and that's how he got up there. And of course, he produced my sister up there, Bridget, while he was up there. But my mother was also, she was a go-go dancer in his show as well. So I grew up with the rich musical history and being exposed to it, and that influenced my music writing that I would begin to formally do as a teenager. When I got in college is when I actually started to formally start writing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
what about you?
my biggest influence was Sean Phillips, Moody Blues, John Denver, Eagles, Sting, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, albums that I played a lot back in the 70s. I used to
Mm-hmm.
put on the old headphones, turn off all the lights, and
Yeah.
then just listen to the music. Um, but I wasn't really big into music like you were through your childhood. I
Right.
was usually outside playing, not listening to music. But even during the 80s and 90s, I didn't listen to a lot of music, but I played my own guitar and wrote my own songs. But I didn't do a lot of turning on the old radio and listening to the music. The only time I would do that is if I'm in the car for a half
Yeah.
hour to go to work.
Yeah.
But uh, I didn't spend a lot of time downtown Minneapolis in the big Minneapolis music industry. I wasn't involved in all that, and but still, my influence, basic influence, is Sean Phillips, Moody Blues, John Denver, those people.
Yeah. I remember John Denver fondly. Of course, I followed him when he was in his heyday.
Yeah,
He's one of those musicians we tragically lost in one of those another one of them damn plane accidents.
yep, yep.
But
It was
one of
a
my
experimental plane.
it
He built
was an
he
experimental plane. I didn't
Yep,
know that.
yep. I don't know if he built it or if he just bought it, but it was an experimental plane and it went down.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite songs of his was very big was Rocky Mountain High.
Ah, yes.
That was I mean that was a big record
Yep.
when he put that out. And funny, um I think I was looking for it on karaoke and I don't remember finding it.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember finding Rocky Mountain High. I would see Country Roads Take Me Home. They sing that to death, well, to life
Yeah.
over in the Philippines. They played that.
Yeah.
That's a monster jam here for karaoke is Country Road in the Philippines. But Rocky Mountain High, I haven't been able to find that. So actually, if I want to sing in karaoke, I have the software that I can make my own karaoke backing
Oh,
music.
nice.
So I know you don't look at my channel much, but I have released a few karaoke vlogs or concerts, if you
Oh,
will.
okay.
So if you go on my channel and you put in under my playlist, you'll see live performances by Geechee Lion, or either under karaoke playlist,
Okay.
you'll find several ones. The most recent one I did was for Jerry Butler, who just passed away last month. Jerry Butler, one of the greatest R&B male vocalists out of Chicago. He also later on became a Cook County commissioner, so he was a politician as well. I got to meet him personally. He autographed his book for me, and we actually had a conversation. I think I might have spent 20, 30 minutes with him,
Nice.
and we had an actual conversation, which I covered on my remake of his song "Giving Up on Love." I referred to my conversation that I had with Jerry Butler in that song. So
Okay.
shameless plug again, you all go to my website, ChiLineSoul.com, and now GeecheeLineMusic.com, and pick up that song "Giving Up on Love" by Imperial Brown and the Million Seller. And
Okay.
you can get the full length version with my rap included. But get the album "Hung Up on My Baby" by Imperial Brown and the Million Seller. That is available on my website.
Nice. Nice.
I invite you to go listen to that. One day I'm going to do an album feature. I'm going to feature that entire album on its own vlog.
What's up,
Uh,
Bailey? I'm sorry. Excuse
I
me.
know you're talking about the dog.
Outside? Huh? Gotta go
So
outside. Yeah. Mom? Go with mom. All right.
yeah,
She had to go potty.
yeah. Okay, well, go ahead. You don't have to
Well,
show that on the
Bridget's
screen.
taking her outside.
Yeah, of course. Yes, you don't have to show that on the screen.
No.
But
I've actually got myself. I've got 3 albums out that I've done. I want to put them up on CD Baby. The first one I did was some original music I did back in the 90s. That was The Bygone Years is the name of that album. It's got 6 or 7 songs on it. And then the next one I did was In This Life. It had 11 songs on it. And then I had one that had all my 12 string, all the songs I had, I played on 12 string. So I titled it, my original name was Acoustic Phases, but I decided to go with Scott Charles. So everything, so all 18 songs at that point were played on 12 string, and I put it on the album. But none of them were officially published, you know. I just put them I just put them up.
What did you do? What did you do? Did you just put them on your website?
Right. I want to get them up on CD Baby for digital download, but I had them on sites for free download, you know, that you could get to them.
Oh, for free download. Well, let me just say,
Music Nation was the place.
Let me advise you now, like I tried to advise your son. You got albums, Geechee Line Music will sponsor you. You can include those albums in my store.
Oh, okay.
People go to my store, which is I'm changing my web presence now. You can still use ChiLineSoul.com, but now I've actually now activated www.geecheelinemusic.com. So
okay, nice.
So you can actually go. That's my website.
Yep. Okay.
web address, which I've had for years. I just never used it.
Oh, really?
Go to that website, and with the permission of Scott Charles, next week we will have the 3 albums that were produced by Scott Charles. They will be available for download in the store. Now, I don't know how much you're going to sell them for. Most of my albums range between $9.99, I believe, and $17.99. It depends on the album.
Yeah. How many
So,
songs?
right, it depends. And then my singles, I think they range from 99 cents to $1.99. If it's a full length version, like an album version, I may go between 190, 249 and 299.
Okay.
So, and then like I said, my album's usually gonna start at 9.99, between 9.99 and 17.99, I believe. So, like I say, I have, and I'm actually going through my music catalog now, so I can tell you, I think I got 6 albums, and I have literally songs. At least have at least 30 songs, singles that you can get as singles
Okay.
in that store. So next week, y'all look out. Scott Charles, 3 of his albums are going to be available at GetYourLineMusic.com in the store. So, what was the names of your 3 albums?
Uh,
The first
the
one. What's the
bygone years
all
in
right?
this life,
In
and
this life.
then Scott Charles on 12 string.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna now the song that we started the program with, is that on one of your albums or is that a
Yes,
loose?
it's on two, the 12 string album and In This Life.
All right. And then what was the name of that record?
The 12 string record, acoustic.
Yeah.
It was Scott Charles on 12 string.
Okay. And the album that we played the record that we played in the intro.
That was a song titled um, uh, shoot.
I know you just sent me it right quick. That's all right. Well,
Um,
anyway, if people want it, they can get it. It's gonna be
right.
available on GetYourLineMusic.com. You just gotta determine. Well, what you have to do is we'll work that out. But you send me the music, and when
Okay.
I contact my web developer in California, actually the one I've been working with, she's actually in Georgia. I found out, but they're running on California time. So
Oh, okay.
you get the music to me, and then I can we can arrange that, and we can start arranging that actually after we get off this broadcast tonight.
Do you okay? Because I even include words.
Right. I mean, hey, you can any digital file, because it's digital. You can have digital music. You can have photos,
Okay.
and you can have lyrics. So you want to put a package together. We're gonna get that
Okay.
together. So next week people will be able to get um a
Nice.
year bygone years and in this life, and then Scott Child on 12 string will be
Oh, the name of the
available.
song. The name of the song was "Seasons of Life"
Yeah, seasons of life. So
from the album "In This Life."
all right, people are gonna be able to get that God willing next week.
All right.
So speaking of Sean Phillips, because I know he's like your number one guy, is he still actively doing any music now?
Oh yeah, he was out touring last summer. He toured Canada and some of the U.S. states.
Okay.
But he has 20 some albums, if not more, published.
Yeah.
He's the last few albums he's done. He's done on his own.
Yeah.
In other words, he did fundraisers to help support the production of the album.
Yes.
Um, and those who support, get an album, signed
course.
album by him. But it was CD. He releases his
yeah.
music on CD.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. You don't want to do vinyl these days. Well, he's got a following, so if he can get a few thousand people to donate $50, I mean that's gonna cover the production costs.
Yep.
Somebody like you and I, we can't do that too. We can't
No.
even sell two. We can't even sell 2 copies, much less 1,000.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everything I've done at home, using my computer to record the audio, to mix it, and then export it as a MP3 and create the album that way.
That's right. Yeah, I told you I did World Powers pretty much like that. I did it in house in the basement.
Yep.
And then I went to 35th Street Studios with Ali, and we did the mix. And I think I formally put my vocals on in the studio, and then we knocked that out in one section. That's my latest completed song. Yep. But again, we're gonna get together, Scott, and get your music on the air, on the web.
All right.
So
I'll get it together.
Yeah, we can do that starting tonight, and maybe we can kind of make this a regular thing. We can at least maybe we get together and just shoot the breeze about music.
True.
You think maybe once a week is enough? Once every 2 weeks? What do you think?
Once every couple weeks will probably be fine.
All right.
Maybe do some 1 or 2 songs live during the show.
There you go. Right. Yeah. All right. Let's make that we're gonna do that. So you all are hearing this first, and then we're gonna start having to set up. You had a camera and have all the music set up where you can play and broadcast just like you did on Facebook again, which is a great vlog and concert. I recommend anybody that's out there, go on my channel if you haven't already subscribed to Geechee Line Journey, and go check out that concert that I just uploaded of Scott Charles, the Dinner Ready music. He played for almost an hour. Great music, great sound, relaxing sound, easy to listen to. It's going to be out there. And then, God willing, even I am going to start doing a little bit more than I have been doing, even if it's just on the karaoke tip. But anyway, thank you, Scott, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Of course, we're gonna, keep in contact when we go offline here. But everybody here that's listening, like this broadcast, please share it to your social media, and of course, subscribe. And again, look, support us. Go on my website, geecheelinemusic.com. And we'll look to see you, if not next week, the week after. We'll probably have a discussion and some songs being performed live, at least by Scott Charles. I don't know whether I'll be doing any live, but anyway, I'll try to set up myself to do that. So thank you all for joining us. And again, go to Fanbase, download the Fanbase app, create a free profile, and then search for and follow Geechee Line Journey and Geechee Line Music on Fanbase. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
Peace out.
All right. Peace out. Thank you, Scott.